Anyone into wrestling? You might be surprised about how much wrestling comes up in the scripture. And it makes sense because wrestling, it's a kind of theater, and it's all about the good guys versus the bad guys. The good guy is called the face. Everyone wants him to win. The bad guy is called the heel. He's a jerk. Everybody boos when he wins because he cheats. And usually he does win because you don't want to give the audience what they want all the time. Recently, the lectionary that my church uses, so the table of readings that are suggested for each week, has been looking at the stories of the ancestors of the Jewish people, the ancestors of Jesus, and recently the story of this ancestor, Jacob. Jacob is a heel. He's a jerk. He cheats. He was a twin. He was the second born of two male twins. And he came out after his brother, holding onto his heel, grasping onto his heel. Because he was the second brother, he wasn't going to inherit anything, but he tricked his older brother into giving him his inheritance. Then he tricked his elderly, vulnerable father, Isaac, into giving him his blessing as well, instead of giving his blessing to his older brother. So his older brother wanted to kill him. He had to run away. When he was on the run in the wilderness, he found this place where he realized that the angels were coming and going between earth and heaven. He was amazed by what he had found when he was on the run. Now, Jacob's a heel, but he kind of meets his match in his father-in-law. His father-in-law made him work for 7 years in order to marry his daughter. But after the wedding night, Jacob woke up and realized he hasn't married the woman that he fell in love with. He's married her sister. Maybe his father-in-law is a bigger jerk than he is. Maybe he's met his match. His father-in-law makes him work another 7 years so that he can marry the daughter that he fell in love with, Rachel. In today's scripture, we have a story where Jacob is traveling with his wives and their children and their workers, and they cross over a stream, and Jacob goes one way, the rest of the household goes another way. And Jacob wrestles with a man in the middle of the night. They're grappling with each other all night, but neither is able to master the other. They can't see each other's faces because it's dark. It's all very mysterious and dramatic. When it's close to morning, the adversary wants to get away, doesn't want to keep fighting. If he keeps fighting, his face will be visible and he'll be recognized. So he cheats. He hits Jacob somewhere very painful, but Jacob won't let him go. He wants to know who this stranger is that he's been rolling around with all night. The stranger won't allow that, but he gives Jacob a new name, Yisrael, one who wrestles with God. So the suggestion in this story is that the stranger who Jacob has been wrestling with must be God. For Christians, when we read it and we hear that it's a human man, it makes us think of Jesus. So when we read this scripture, we see Jesus present in the Jewish scripture in the Old Testament. Most Jewish people aren't going to see it that way, but that's okay. We can hold that mystery with humility. This story shows us what faith is like. We have to have humility because it's always a struggle. We're always struggling with God, wrestling with God. It keeps us awake at night. As the sun rises, we feel weary and sore. We still haven't mastered God, and God seems to have slipped away. We might walk with a limp, but we feel like we've been blessed to encounter God.